Yeah, how's it going, everyone? My name is Earlmeister, and in today's Meister meta breakdown, we will be breaking down the CCS Lorcana 8K event that happened this weekend. It has been almost a month since the release of Set 3 into the Inklings, and a lot of new decks have been rising to join the meta. Not to mention that decks that are already existing in the meta have gotten an upgrade to maintain a healthy spot in the competitive scene. Now, I understand while you're looking at this screen that I've mentioned there are a lot of new decks that are rising to the top, but there really are. But on this tournament, you're gonna see a familiar scene from Set 1 and Set 2. There's a lot of Steel Songs and Ruby Amethyst in particular. So we got 5 Ruby Amethyst bounce control, 2 Steel Songs. We're gonna check out which one, which version it is, if it's the flutes or the lanterns. But there's one deck that got to the top, or one of the tops, that you won't expect, and it's from one of my favorite players, Zach Bivens. It looks like he visited your house to check out your bulk and built a deck from it, from the extra cards from opening too many packs. And I'm super excited that an aggro deck and a budget one, well, we don't really know if it's a budget one. Maybe it's just really good and cheap, right? So we're gonna check that out. I'm very excited that there's one aggro deck that made it to the top. But then again, it's Zach Bivens, so it's not a surprise at all. Shout out to Zach. Zach, you're an ultra megatonic goat for doing this. But yeah, let's go hop into it right away. So first, we're gonna check out the bottom of the top 8. So there are 4 Ruby Amethysts on the bottom of the top 8. Thank God it's not 4 on the top. Not that I wished for them to lose, but it's just much more cooler to see different decks on the top 4. We're gonna start with Ryan Grebe, I believe that's how you pronounce it, or Ryan Grebe. All right, so we got 2 Minnie Mouse, 2 Olaf, 3 Rafikis. We got 7 1-drops, 2 Cuscos, which is pretty optimal. Some people run more. We have the Madam Mim. Let's get this over with. It's the bounce package. We got the Madam Mims and the Merlins as well. We only got 3 Merlin Goat. That is very surprising. Okay, like that's something that you don't really expect. People are scared of this card and people love this card at the same time. Usually there's 4 of it. There's also the 2 Pinocchio. One of the greatest stacks for this deck. It's seen some play on Set 2, but now there's way more in Set 3. So we got 2 Pinocchios. We only got 2 Maleficent Sorceress. We got 2 Crabs, which is a pretty sweet spot. This one is running a lot of locations. So it's running 3 Jim Hawkins with 2 RLS and 4 Queen's Castle. It also has 4 Maui, as it should, and 2 Madame Medusa and 2 Isma with 2 Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. People have been cutting a lot of the Tremaines out. I personally like having some Tremaines in there, but this list is running 2 Medusas and 2 Ismas instead. It also only has 2 Teeth and Ambitions. That's probably why it lost to aggro. I'm just kidding. I don't know if this is one of the decks that lost to the aggro that made it to top 4. 2 Teeth and Ambitions, 4 Friends on the other side, 4 Be Prepared, 2 Maui Fishhook. Everything else looks the same as most lists, except for it's only running 3 goats. This one also is heavy on the location, but this looks like a pretty solid list, and obviously it worked out for Ryan, so congrats to you, Ryan, for running this list and making it to the top 8. Now the next one on the top 8 least list, my accent has been coming out these past couple videos, is George GG, another Ruby Amethyst bounce control. Let's go check it out, what kind of tech that he added here. So we got Olaf, 4 Olafs, 4 Rafikis, something that you would see usually, 3 Cuscos, the Madam Mim package with the bounce for the goats, 2 Pinocchios, 3 Maleficent Sorceress, 2 Crabs, 1 Lady Tremaine, 4 Mauis, of course, 1 Lady Tremaine, 3 Madame Medusas, 1 Isma, and 3 Maleficent Dragon for the characters. And we also got 4 Be Prepareds and 4 Friends on the other side. We got 2 Maui's Fish Hook, 1 Spellbook for the mirror match. This is really, really good for the mirror match. 3 Queen's Castle and 1 Dragonfire. I mentioned before that I love this deck. I love having 1 or 2 of these. I think this is a pretty solid card. It can deal with so many plays at turn 5, right? Especially you being able to when you're second, you being able to remove a tragic beast or a sad boy beast is really, really important to prevent them from gaining card advantage against you. And this is pretty solid. Everything else is pretty optimal here. You will see now at this area of the deck, the 6 mana drops or the 6 ink drops. Usually they're running 2 Tremaines, 2 Medusa, or 3 Medusa, 1 Tremaine, or reverse 3 Tremaines, 1 Medusa, and then some splash of Isma. Some people have cut 1 or 2 Maleficent Dragons, but everything else is a pretty regular thing that you would see. And this is my favorite part of the deck, is this deck. I think this is a super solid card. Now moving on, there's really not much to talk about this, but congratulations George GG for an Ultra Megatonic performance, making it to top 8. Alright, next one on the top 8 list is we have another Ruby Amethyst Bounce Control by James Miller. Okay, looking at the list right away, you will notice that there's 1 extra item. This is something that you don't usually see around anymore. I haven't seen this since set 1. Ursula's Cauldron is a tech that James added. I wonder what is I mean, obviously it helps you filter your deck, right? But I wonder what was the idea behind this, and he made it to top 8, so it worked out for him. I'm really curious. We found out from the aggro deck yesterday why they run some Isma on an aggro deck. I got a response from Reddit. I wonder if James Miller will see this video and maybe he can let us know why Ursula's Cauldron is here. It's a very interesting tech, and it's a great way to look for cards as well. Other than that, everything looks pretty normal here. We have Chernobog's followers. We got 4 of them. 2 Pascals actually is something that you don't see on a bounce control. This does give you some speed. Rafiki, 4 of them. 4 Cusco's Wanted Llama. We have 4 Madame M Snakes, 2 Pinocchio. We have the bounce package basically, and then we also have 4 Maleficents here. We have 2 Merlin Crab, 4 Minnie Mouse. This is actually a faster version of most decks, which is really cool to see, and it made it to top 8, so that's pretty cool. We have 4 Maui Hero to All. We only have 1 Madame Medusa and 4 Isma. There's no dragons on this list. This is a much faster of a regular bounce control that you will see. Madame Medusa is an Ultra Megatonic card, and there's only also 2 Be Prepared. So you can see from this deck, looking at the Pascal, looking at the Minnie Mouse, right? Only running 1 Madame Medusa, running 4 Ismas, 1 Ursula Cauldron, only running 1 Maui's Fish Hook as well, as a Sorcerer's Spellbook, and only running 2 Be Prepared. And of course, the Friends on the other side is a staple there. You will see that the game plan is to finish as fast as you can, and it has worked out for him with the amount of control decks that are out there, from the bounce control and also the Popsicles control right now that's running the dime. This is a pretty cool idea. I think his aim here, correct me if I'm wrong, James, the aim here is to punish these control players and have an early advantage against them so they won't prolong the game and dominate everyone else at the end game. Now moving forward, congratulations James Miller for the top 8. Moving forward here, the last one on the top 8, we have Logan Taylor with another Ruby Amethyst Bounce Control. Now let's see what kind of text he added on his Ruby Amethyst Bounce Control. This is basically the same card, Minnie Mouse and Olaf. We got 4 of them. We got only 3 Rafikis. We got 3 Cusco. We have the bounce package here. We have 4 of every single one on the bounce package. We also have 3 Maleficents, 2 Merlin Crabs, something that we've been seeing a lot on these top decks. We have 4 Maui Hero to all as well. We got 3 Madame Medusas on this list and 2 Maleficents. We also are running only 3 Teeth and Ambitions, 4 Friends on the other side, 4 Be Prepared, 2 Maui's Fish Hook, 1 Sorcerer's Spellbook. This is pretty much a regular thing that you would see. 2 Queen's Castle, and my favorite tech, like what I previously mentioned, 2 Dragon's Fire. This is a pretty regular list of bounce control if you really look at it. It only really just changes on the turn 6, right? The 6 drops. Sometimes people would run some Ismas. Sometimes people would still stick with the Tremaine, but this list is specifically running 3 Madame Medusas, which is really good against Steel Song, by the way. But some Steel Song players have been running well, Tinkerbell, of course, but they're also running more Cinderellas, and they have brought back the Queen, which is a really good tech against Madame Medusa because they have 4 strength, and Madame Medusa cannot aim at them or target them. But other than that, this is a pretty regular list with a 2 Dragon Fire attack, of course, and of course the Sorcerer's Spellbook to make sure that you win against your mirrors. Congratulations, Logan Taylor, for the top 8. Now, moving forward. All right, so now we're hitting the top 4 over here. We got 2 Steel Songs, 1 Ruby Bounce control, and we have this is gonna be the one that I'm super excited to see because most of these decks, except for Zan's list is pretty unique as well. I know it's a Steel Song Flute, but I will show you guys pretty soon. But first, let's start with Christian K's Steel Song. Let's see what kind of Steel Song is running. So it's running 4 Cinderellas, 4 Robin Hoods, 4 Stitch. Something that you would see nowadays for Steel Song. 4 Ariel, 3 Rapunzels, 4 Bees, 4 Robin Hoods, 3 Stitch Rockstar, 3 Tinkerbells, 3 Cinderellas, 2 Stitch Carefree Surfer, 1 Chernabog on the list, 3 Lanterns as well. This looks like a list that it looks familiar with the list that, what's his name? Brennan DeCandio, who won the pack tournament on Pixelborn 2 weeks ago. This looks something similar with a little bit of changes here and there, of course. 3 Bare Necessities, 3 Storm, Let the Storm Rage On, Strength of the Raging Fire. We got 3 of them. 2 Along, and then Along Came Zeus. 4 A Whole New Worlds, and 3 Grab Your Swords. This is something regular that you would see from most of these Lantern players. They would usually run these Stitch, obviously, and the 4 Tragic Heroes to bring out the Tragic Hero on turn 4 to get extra value from it. And if it gets Ping, then Rapunzel gets value from that as well. And a spicy 1 Chernabog, of course. And this made it to top 4, so congratulations, Christian K. There's not much to really discuss about this, since we've previously discussed before. If you don't know what the Lantern is for, like what I previously mentioned, it's a nice way to stay ahead of the curve, and at the same time, you also get to play your Beast Tragic Hero early, so the Madame Medusas doesn't just remove them on turn 6 right away. You get, if you're going first, you get 2 values from this. If you're going second, then you only get one from it, which is still pretty nice, right? Still pretty nice. All right. Now, moving forward, Christian K, congratulations on the top 4. Very well played, good sir. And like what I mentioned as well, the 3 Cinderellas are nice here because they can't be targeted by the Madame Medusa. All right, now going into the spicy deck. Before we go into this, Zach Bivens is an Ultra Megatonic player. He won a bunch of 1Ks before and has consistently performed, placing on top 8, top 4s of most tournaments out there. Zach is an Ultra Megatonic player. He's a legend in the community. And this deck, I'm super excited to show, and here's why. Now that we've clicked at it, looking at it, this looks like a list that you got from your bulk of cards, right? From your extra cards from opening too many packs. And this is such a cheap deck that made it to top 4, $69. You can probably get this cheaper, because most of these cards right now, like this, you can buy for like 5-10 cents, right? And we're gonna get in with this. First of all, I'm very happy, not only that because it's Zach Bivens that took this to top 4, but I'm also happy when top 4 or top 8 in general has a 1 or 2 or maybe more aggros. It makes me really happy because it's a good mix to the meta. It's very healthy for the meta, for the rock, paper, scissors, because aggro contests control very, very well. And we can see that he got past those Ruby Amethyst players because, like what I said, aggro punishes slow plays. All right, so starting with 4 Befuddles, I really like this card. I think this card is underrated. This card takes over most control players. When they put down something for a bounce, you can just befuddle them and turn 2 and play 2 Maleficents, and now you have 2 1 ink 1/1 that can quest for 2. And then we have 4 Chernobog's followers, 4 Maleficents, of course, 4 Olafs, and then we got the Madam Mim bounce package right here. We got 4 of each, and then we have 4 Mr. Smee. We got 3 Pinocchios. We got 2 Arthurs in here, 3 Hercules. If you ask why Hercules is here, I mean, it's a pretty solid body and a bodyguard, but also Zach Bivens is a big fan of Hercules. Too bad this version of Hercules doesn't have an enchanted. Otherwise, this deck would have been expensive because he will for sure run multiple of those enchanted, or at least 1 enchanted version. And we also got 4 of the Prince. We're gonna skip the Madam and Fox because I already talked about the bounce. We got 4 Maleficents, Maleficent Sorcerers for draw. We have 4 the Prince as well. I really, really like this card as well. Solid card, especially against Steel. You don't auto lose against Steel because it can withstand Tinkerbell and grab your swords and all that, and it's able to get you 2 lore at the very least, and it protects your other cards. So in a way, that gains you extra lore. And of course, the Merlins are over here. And then we have 3 friends on the other side, 4 Strength of the Raging Fire, and 1 Sorcerer's Spellbook. This is something that we're already familiar with, and one of the reasons why is because these cards are seeing a lot of play, minus the Hercules, of course. You don't see that all the time, and the Prince, you don't get to see that all the time as well. But this is a pretty regular bounce aggro that you would see. Usually this package is paired with yellow, with amber, but Zach decided that Amber might be a little too expensive because then you have to run extra Lilo, and you might even have to run Maleficent, or well, maybe not, but it's much cheaper to probably run it with Steel, because these Steel cards are super cheap. Look at that Hercules, it's 11 cents. Look at these Prince, it's 8 cents each. And the Mr. Smee, it's 21 cents each. It's super cheap to run this deck. I don't know if he was trying to prove something that you can like bring a budget deck to the meta and still do well with it. But then again, it's Zach Bivens, like what I said, he's an ultra megatonic player, or maybe he saw something in the meta that these combination of cards, and it doesn't really matter if there's anything expensive on it or not, that they will just perform really well. So congratulations, Zach Bivens, for another ultra megatonic performance, especially with a deck like this. This is so impressive. Props to you, bro. Hope to keep seeing you perform this well on these tournaments. But other than that, we're gonna move on to the next one. All right, so now we are getting into the top 2. So the top 2 is the 2 OG top decks of this game from set 1 and set 2 as well. We're gonna start with the top 2. We have a Ruby Amethyst anti-meta deck, bounce control, from Edmund C. All right, let's see. We got 4 Chernobogs, 4 Rafikis, 4 Cuscos, 4 Madam Mims, 4 Mim Fox as well, 4 Maleficents, only 1 crab, 4 goats, 4 Merlin crabs, 4 Maui hero to all, 4 of each. I run 3 of this, but I do like the style as well. Heavy control. 4 Lady Tremaines, 4 Madame Medusa, and 4 Maleficent dragons for the characters. It's also running 4 Friends on the Other Side and 4 Be Prepared with 2 Maui fish hook and 1 Sorcerer's Spellbook. You don't really see a lot of text in this deck, but it shows you that sometimes you don't have you don't need the tech, because a solid control heavy control deck can just really perform very well. And this is definitely 100% my style right here. But the spellbook is there, of course, so you can gain some advantage against a fellow Ruby Amethyst player. Other than that, there's not much to talk about here. Maybe the only thing is, like, it could be scary to run 4 of each of this, having 4, 8, 12, 16 plus 1, 17 Inkables. That's probably the only scary thing with this. But other than that, he made it work. He controlled the board and he got to top 2. So props to you, Edmund, for getting to top 2. Congratulations. All right, last but not the list. Blah! Earl, fix your accent. People won't be able to understand. Or I could just say last on the list. Last but not the least, right? We got a 10-0-1 performance, undefeated. There is a draw, but undefeated. And this deck will surprise you. This is an Ultra Megatonic deck. I'm also... I don't know if I should say this, but I'm very excited to discuss this deck, and I'm very excited as well. Make sure to check out my podcast every Sunday, the Lormeister's podcast, because I'm interviewing him today, actually, Zan Sied, or I need to pronounce that right. So I'm gonna ask him how to pronounce that, but he's gonna be our guest for this Sunday. We got Zan with an Amber Steel Song Flutes. Let's go see why this deck is so special. All right, at first glance, you will see right away the amount of an Inkables, and people are asking him why this many Inkables, and he previously mentioned before he has the same approach to Lorcana, the same way he approaches Magic. And he mentioned that if you know how to mulligan properly, and of course there are probably some chances that you are gonna get bricked, but if you know how to mulligan properly, that you're not gonna get bricked with this. So let's start with looking at the deck really quick. We got 4 Cinderella's, Robin Hood, and the Queen instead of the Stitch. We got 4 Ariel. We got 3 Benjas to make sure that you do not lose to other items. This is a pretty spicy tech right here. We got 3 Hades, which is a super controversial and spicy tech as well. We got 3 Hades, 1 Rapunzel, 4 Robin Hood, 4 the Queen, and 2 Cinderellas. This is a list that I understand. Some of these cards are something that you would usually see, but the Queen has been falling off lately, and not because it's bad, it's because people think it's bad. I think it's pretty good on the meta because you don't get targeted with the shifted Queen, and it's a super cheap shift for you, and you don't get targeted by Madame Medusa with the shift, which is really cool. The thing, though, that you usually won't see on this list, aside from the Queens nowadays, is the 3 Hades and only 1 Rapunzel. Usually Rapunzel is being tagged in if you are running the Beast as well, because the Beast is like it's like debater of pingers, where people would ping it so you don't get to draw, but then Rapunzel comes in to heal that, and you get to draw anyways. But this is a pretty cool looking thing. We're gonna find out on the interview why these are the cards that he chose, especially the Hades. And we also got 4 Sleepy's Flute. It's Steel and Ultra Megatonic believer of the flute, which makes sense, especially with the amount of control decks right now. Flute is really good against control because you are able to finish the game much faster with the flutes, so you don't get dominated by control at the end game. Now we got 3 bare necessities, 4 let the storm rage on. People has got like 1 or 2 of these on their list. We got 4 strength of the raging fire, 2 world's greatest criminal mind, something that you don't get to see that often anymore. And we also have 4 and then along came Zeus. Usually on most lists you will only see 2 of these, 4 whole new worlds, and 2 grab your swords. Now the base idea of Steel Song is still there, but there are definitely techs that you don't get to see in most decks. And what are those? The Hades, world's greatest criminal mind, right? And obviously we don't get to see the Queen a lot anymore. Some people are still running it, but for the most part, a lot of people has cut it. They'd rather go with the Stitch Rock Stars. But the Ultra Megatonic tech that we do not expect from this, like what I said, is the amount of uninkables. Let's count the uninkables really quick. So we have 10 right over here, 4, 4, 2, 10. We have another 4, 14, another 4, 18, but it doesn't end there. 3 more Hades, 21 total uninkables in this deck. What an insane amount of uninkables, and an insane performance of the deck with that many uninkables as well. Zan, I gotta pick your brain, bro. I'm definitely gonna be asking a lot of questions about this deck for tonight's episode. And if you guys haven't hit that subscribe, like, and bell button, make sure that you do. That way you get to check out the interview on why this deck is Ultra Megatonic, because we're gonna do the interview tonight and it's gonna be aired, or it's gonna be published this Sunday. So make sure to check that out. Other than that, going back to this, like what I said, it has most of the decks that you already see from set 1 to set 2 and now set 3 as well. But I'm pretty sure there are a lot of other decks that you will see in the tournament as well. I think because this is an IRL deck or IRL tournament and it's not a Pixelborn, I think a lot of the people have stick with what they're good at, number 1, and comfortable with, and they've been playing. Number 2, a deck that they already have, so they don't have to spend a lot of money on building another deck. That's probably one of the reasons why you get to see these decks. Because the thing is, in Pixelborn, there's much more, what do you call this? Much more variety on the top 8s and the top 16. And I think the reason why is because it's free. The cards are free. You can build whatever deck that you want there, and you can play with that. But with this, obviously, you have to spend some money to get that, which is fine, because I do that as well. I have a meta Steel Song, I have a meta bounce control, I have all the cards, all the text for it, so I can shift it anytime I want. I have the meta for Steel Green, right? The only thing that I probably don't have a complete set with are the cards for blue, because I'm not a big blue player, but I have most of those that I could make some meta decks for it too. But for most people, they probably prefer to play something with cards that they already have. Other than that, congratulations to the top 8, the top 16 as well, of course, but today we're only discussing the top 8 of this deck. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed this Ultra Megatonic breakdown of the meta from the CCS 8K Lorcana event or tournament that last weekend, make sure to smash that like, subscribe, and bell button. Don't forget to comment down below as well your questions or your thoughts, or just leave an emoji because it helps. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next Meister meta breakdown or just the next videos. Once there's another Ultra Megatonic tournament that comes out, we'll make sure that we cover those decks that are being played on those tournaments that made it to the top and break down why they're making it to the top 8. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.